Alrighty, I think we're going to go ahead and get started because we've got a lot to go over today. So this is Sandy Liking, Client Solutions Training Manager here at AAM. Our webinar today is going to be focused on magazine statement filing. So I'm going to switch over to a PowerPoint real quick. And then I'm also, at the end of my PowerPoint, going to go into a live demo of the filing tool. So just to let you know what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be doing some quick tips on statement filing. Actually, this webinar is really good if you're new to filing or just as a refresher. Also going to go over backup information that you'll need for statement filing, then switch over to a live demo, and then also point out where our training materials are for statement filing. So as most of you are aware, our statement deadline is due for the December publisher statement that will be due January 31st. When we do our June publisher statement, that will be due July 31st. So you can keep that in your calendar to kind of plan ahead. But for our December one, that will be this coming up. A couple weeks from now will be January 31st is when the deadline is for our magazine statement filing. Do want to note, though, if it happens to ever be where January 31st or July 31st falls on the weekend, due date will be the following business day. So just some quick tips on preparation before you begin to get ready for your statement filing. Wanted to go over some of that. And also just to let you know, this webinar is being recorded, so you can, at the next couple of days, I will send a follow-up email that will have the webinar recording, so you'll have that as a reference guide as well. But just to let you know, before you get into the filing tool, what we really recommend is for the browser is you use either Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Internet Explorer does not work well for our filing tool, so highly suggest using Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. When you go into the filing, or to get into the filing tool, you wanted to go into AAM's main website, and there will be a login. And you're going to use that drop-down arrow. You're going to select Publishing Filing Center, and then it's going to ask you for credentials to get into the filing tool. The credentials to get into the filing tool are different than the ones for our Media Intelligence Center. So if you're unsure what your filing credentials are, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to provide that for you. Once you log in, then there are some more options on the menu for the filing center, and you're going to want to select publisher statement filing. So once you get into the filing tool, it's on the left-hand side, there's going to be three main sections. There's going to be the general information section with circulation data, the analysis, and then our review and submit. So the first thing that when you get into the filing tool, the very first thing you'll need to do to get started is go into the publication information section. This is kind of the starting point of the filing tool. It takes in information about how many issues you have, what type of distribution you have. Is it print? Is it digital? What type of digital do you have? What type of paid subscriptions do you have? The reason why it's important to fill this out first, because it will then follow suit through the rest of the filing tool. So if you have digital subscriptions, but you didn't click digital, it's not going to show up in the filing tool. So you want to make sure you check all the correct categories for your publication. And if you get anything out of this webinar today, remember to save and save often. Our filing tool does time out after a few minutes of inactivity. So we all are multitasking when we're doing this. So just wanted to give you a heads up. Make sure you save and save often. In each of our panels, there is two save features. One is the save. When you click on save, it'll say successfully save, and it'll stay in that same page. The other save feature is save and continue. What this will do, it'll save your information, but then it'll then jump you ahead to the next section in the filing tool. So after you fill in the publication information, the next section that's going to be is rate base. And the rate base, what it wants you to do is enter in what your average rate base is for the statement period. Some of you may have a rate base for different issues. If you do, you need to have a weighted rate base. It's real easy to enter in information on the rate base. You're just going to put in what your circulation is, how many issues were for that particular statement period. Also, too, in this rate base section, it wants to know what is your rate base. Is it applicable to your paid and verified? Does it also include your analyzed non-paid circulation? So you're going to check those boxes as well that are applicable to your publication. If you don't have a rate base, that's fine. You still need to fill out this section, and it will be this top box here, which is basically saying you have no rate base. So everyone will need to complete this section, whether or not you have a rate base or not. And remember to save and continue. A quick tip for rate bases. I have some publications or clients asking, how do I know if I have a rate base? Well, if you printed in your rate card or your media kit, you're going to have to report it for AAM publisher statements. So in this example here, this was taken off of a live rate card. They had 800,000 circulations where they're guaranteeing that for their advertisers, hey, this is how many copies we distributed of our publication. And then it gets noted here in the rate base section of the publisher statement. The next section is issue by issue. Now, no, this is kind of small, and you'll see this more in our live demo, but after rate base is average circulation. I skip to the issue by issue, and I highly recommend that you do the same, because what information you put in the issue by issue is going to dictate what averages you're going to put in the average circulation section. So just highly recommend that you start with the issue by issue first. When you go into this section, there's a little plus icon. If you have 6 issues during the statement period, you're going to want to see 6 line items. So you would just click the plus box, and it'll then enter in it'll provide information for you for each issue. You're going to put in the date of the issue. So this December publisher statement starts with July. Most publications have a July issue, so you would have your July, your August, September, and so forth. You then want to put in, there's going to be a red calendar box here. You want to select when that issue, the date of that issue. It's not the on sale date, it's the actual date of the issue. And then you're going to fill in the information about that issue. What type of distribution did you have for that issue? What was your distribution for paid, your paid digital, your verified, etc. There's also here we have for special issue and then analyzed issue. If you have a special issue, this is issues that's going to be on the market after the on sale date. It's continual. It's a special issue. It's an addition to your normal publication. Special issues are not included in the averages. They're just only included in the issue by issue section. So we just need to know if you have any of these issues that you have listed, if they're a special issue. The next thing will be analyzed issue. Everyone will need to select an analyzed issue. What this is, you're going to select an issue that's within your statement period, and you're going to analyze that particular issue. You're going to break down their distribution by state or by province in the geographical analysis section. And one thing too to note is that the issue by issue, it'll calculate averages for you. So the averages that are in the issue by issue will need to match the averages that you report in your average circulation. The next screen here is about average circulation. So in this section, you're going to put in what is your average for the 6-month time period for the publisher statement by category. So what's your 6-month average for your individual subscriptions? What type of subscriptions did you have for paid circulation? Were they association? Were they club? Did you have any partnership, sponsorship copies? Just to let you know, the filing tool is going to list all the possible categories. Doesn't mean you need to fill it all out. You just need to fill in the categories that are applicable to your publication. When you have verified distribution, you just need to also then put what type of verified distribution you have. Is it going for doctor's office, healthcare, things of that nature? We do have an other category. You are more than welcome to use that other category. However, we do ask that you fill out the the other type of distribution first. If it's to be more defined, the verified distribution, you want to select other categories. You want to select at least 5 of the other categories before you can use other. We're just trying to prevent everyone from lumping everything in other. You really do need to define what your distribution is by verified distribution. So here's a quick little example of what the verified your paid and your verified distribution would look like. And this section here, this is just taken from the View Data section, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. But this is taking your information in that your issue by issue section, and then comparing it to your average circulation. If you notice the circulation here for paid subscriptions, it has 1,935,000. Here it is over here, my average distribution for my individual subscriptions. So just want to show you how the issue by issue and the average circulation section, how they tie. When you're completing your issue by issue and your average circulation, the backup information that you need, most publications have some type of circulation system that they have, or the fulfillment center has some type of history report. And this history report is going to show what your distribution is by issue, and it breaks it down by type, whether it's individual paid, did you have digital, did you have verified. One thing to keep in mind when you are reporting information in the issue by issue section, as well as the average circulation, is that the subscriptions, you need to make sure you take out your duplications as well as your credit cancels. So subtract out your dupes and the credit cancels. Single copy sales should be net, meaning returns have been deducted. And then also, too, if you have any self-adjustments for any categories, that should also be applied as well. The next section is if you had a regional or demographic edition of your publication. This is an optional section for you to fill out. I do want to let you know that for the publisher statement, when it is released, you will see a PDF document. However, there's going to be certain sections that you fill out in the filing tool that are not going to be in the PDF document. That doesn't mean that they are not available. They are available, but in our database, in our Media Intelligence Center. This section happens to be one of them. So your regional demographic information, you will not see that on your printed document. Instead, it will be housed in the Media Intelligence Center. And as we go through, I will highlight the other paragraphs that you will see that are just housed in our Media Intelligence Center. Next section is prices. Pretty basic. You're just going to put in what your single copy price is, your subscription price, and your average price. This is also one of the heart of the publisher statement is your geographical analysis section. This is when you take your analyzed issue and you're going to break it down, the distribution by state or by province. So your analyzed issue that in the geo section needs to match your issue that was selected in the issue by issue section. When you fill this information out, you can enter it manually, or you can upload your geo. If you want to upload it, your geo, highly recommend it. However, I do want to point out that if you want to upload it, you need to use AAM's template. So when we get into the live demo, I'm going to show you that template and how to upload. One of the features of uploading is that it's an Excel file, so you can copy and paste from your own report, put it in the template, and then upload it, and then it would populate all the information for the geographical analysis. Again, this particular paragraph, you're going to put in all this information, really is the heart of your publication, your publisher statement, but it is not printed on the PDF document. It is housed in our Media Intelligence Center. Main reason why is that this particular section gets analyzed quite a bit, not only by publishers, but as advertisers and media buyers as well. They'll take this information, download it into an Excel, and then they'll be able to take this information and then do their different analysis with it. So I did want to let you know that, yes, the geo information you do need to complete. It is not printed on the document. It is housed in the Media Intelligence Center. One thing when you're doing the geographical analysis, you do need to do an actual one once a year. The other one, you can prorate. So the one that you're doing actual, you want to make sure you maintain all that backup documentation for the audit. So your subscriber list, any single copy reports, things of that nature you want to maintain for the audit. But you are eligible to prorate your geo once a year. So if you always prorate in December, if you want to prorate the December statement, that means June you're going to do an actual geographical analysis. And that means moving forward, every June will be actual. The next section is new and renewal. What this is how many new subscriptions or renewal subscriptions did you receive during this statement period? And it asks the question 3 different ways. It wants to know, so of the new and renewal subscriptions that you received, so in my example here, I had 400,000. What was the time period for those subscriptions? Was it a 6-month time subscription? Was it 12 months, etc.? Then it wants to know, okay, what did you get it with a premium? Were premiums used or were they not? And then the next question is channels. How did you obtain the subscriptions? Was it through mail, direct mail? Was it through other sources? So the totals in A, B, and C need to match because it's the same information. It's just asked in different ways. So these are your subscriptions, your new subscriptions, your renewals that you received during the statement period. And it wants to know by duration, if you used a premium, and the source. How did you obtain these subscriptions? Again, this information will not be on your PDF document. Instead, it will be housed in AAM's Media Intelligence Center. The next section in the filing tool is the notes section. This is when you get to go and explain further information about information that's housed in your publisher statement. Really, one of the popular ones for explanation is your multi-title digital programs. The other thing that you will need to note is your non-analyzed, non-paid distribution. These are your miscellaneous sample copies, your employee copies, checking copies, advertiser copies, things of that nature. You do need to report those, and it's in the non-analyzed, non-paid. So in this one here, in my example here, I had added I have multi-title digital programs, so I have this. And then also too, I included my average non-analyzed, non-paid. So I'll show you that in the live demo. Once you're done with the notes section, you're getting in the tail end of filing your publisher statement. You're nearing the end. Publisher statement comments. What this is, publisher comments, they will not get printed on your document. Instead, these comments are for AAM internal use only. Reason why you would use this, if you had a change in distribution, if you went from paid subscriptions and you had no single copy in the past, but you added single copy, or you changed distribution by states, something that would help us when we review your statement. Because what happens is once you submit your publisher statement, it goes through a review process. Our review team takes a look at your publisher statement, compares it to what was previously filed, and if we notice any major spikes, we're going to reach out to you saying, hey, you may want to double check this. So anything to help us with the review, you can put in the publisher comments. Again, this is optional. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to enter information here. It's up to you if you feel that would be beneficial for us when we go through the review process. The next under review and submit is upload files. What this is, if you want the logo of your publication on your PDF document, you certainly could do that. We just need the JPEG file. Some already have their logo on there, but it needs to be updated. If you have a new logo, it's been revised, you want to provide that, you certainly can, and this is the section you would do that. The next section, highly recommend that you use, and you use it often. This is actually your proofing section. This is view data. View data, you can go in and look at it as often as you would like prior to the release of your publisher statement. So if you entered in information in the issue by issue section and you want to see what it looks like, you go into view data. View data allows you to proof your information before it is submitted. There is a print icon view data. And I highly recommend you either print out the information that you've entered, or you can save it as a PDF. Reason being is that you would want this for your backup. Also, too, it helps when you do the next publisher statement, you can see what was entered in the past. Do want to point out that the information you see in the view data, it will show you each section of your publisher statement. But when it gets printed, again, there's going to be some paragraphs that will not be on the actual printed document. They are housed in our Media Intelligence Center. Before you submit, you want to view errors. View errors will let you know if there's if your issue by issue isn't tying to your average circulation, is your issue the geo not tying to the analyzed issue, things of that nature. So you want to make sure it says no errors found. Then you're in the final stretch here. You're getting ready to submit. So what you need to do is put in your name and title, and right below the box right below the title is going to be a box you're going to want to check. That's your electronic signature. And then there's that submit button. Once you submit your information, you will receive an email saying successfully submitted. It goes through a review process like I have mentioned in the past, previously. And once a review team looks at your document, they're going to send you an email. And in this email, it's a proof email in a sense. They're going to say, hey, before we release your information into our database, you have one more chance to look at it before it's released. And what they're going to do in this email, they're going to direct you back into the filing tool. They want you to go into the view data section, and they want you to look at that information and just to double check, make sure that everything's okay. If it's okay, there's going to be I approve, and then what will happen 24 hours later, your information will be released into our database. If you're like, oh, you know what, I have a correction, you say I decline, and then send us what your corrections are. But just to let you know, you will not get a PDF document to proof your information. They will direct you to go back into the filing tool under view data to look at your information. Before I switch to the live demo, I do want to talk about BrandView. BrandView is an interface that when you go into our Media Intelligence Center, it's the first thing that a reader of the data is going to notice about your publication. What's great about BrandView is you get to customize the look and feel of your publication in our database. It is free, so there's no additional cost to do this. It is updated automatically with the latest release publisher statement. So basically, once you set up your BrandView profile, you can almost set it and forget it type of thing. You don't have to worry about updating with the latest release information because that will automatically be updated. But what's great about the BrandView is you can customize it. You can put on the overview section information about your publication. You can put in a link to your media kit. And also to this link, your BrandView link is shareable with any of your clients, even if they're non-AAM clients. The only thing the non-AAM client would not have access to would be the reports library section. So if you're interested in about BrandView and setting that up, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you set that up. In my example, when we go into the live demo, I'm going to be looking at Taste of Homes. Taste of Homes actually does a really nice job. They have a BrandView profile already set up, and it's a tab feature. So the overview tab, this is the first thing when you go into our database. This is what you're going to see about Taste of Homes. They give information about their publication. They have a link to their media kit. They're also part of the MP360 program, so that information, they have a tab for that as well. Also, too, is when you have any questions about filing, you can always contact me, but also to let you know, we do have great resources that I'll show you about our filing tool. We do have a step-by-step instruction guide. We also have a guide to how to pull this information once your statement's released. How do you obtain it? And also to how to set up a BrandView profile. So with that, I am going to exit out of my presentation. And I'm going to go into a live demo of the filing tool. So just to let you know, when you go into the filing tool, you go into AAM's website. So it's at auditedmedia.com. There's this login. You're going to click on login, and it's going to ask, do you want the Media Intelligence Center or Publishing Filing Center? You're going to select the Publishing Filing Center. When you go into the Publishing Filing Center, it's going to ask for your credentials. So I am using Taste of Homes just for example, but just to let you know, these are not real numbers. They are made up numbers. I'm just using them as a demo. And hopefully it works. Okay, it worked. Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on a second. Yoy. Okay, I'm going to try one more time in the demo mode. I'm in a demo mode right now, so that's why I'm validation is failed. Huh, well, that's interesting. It worked during practice, I guarantee it. So, well, I'm going to actually go into the live, just to go into live demo here. So when you log in, you're going to go into Publisher Statement Filing. And when you go into Publisher Statement Filing, the first thing it's going to have is this Intro tab. Now, this Introduction tab, actually, there's some good information here. If you go into our Acknowledge base, and it's going to refer you to the filing instructions. Also, too, if you have any questions, you can click on the main phone line, and it'll give you the contact information, who to contact. But here's the publication information section. So if I wanted to skip around, it's not going to let me skip around until I complete the publication information system information. So I'm just going to start putting in that for Taste of Homes, they actually publish 6 times a year. So for the statement period, they actually file 3 times. They have 3 issues. They have print. They also have digital circulation. They also have paid, they have public and verified distribution, individual use, paid single copies, and they also do analyze non-paid distribution. So another thing that you want to do is then look through to make sure the information about your contact information is correct. Field serve will be in there if your previous field serve. And if everything is correct, go ahead and click Save, and it says successfully saved. The next section is rate base. You have 2 choices. One, you can select this box here that says, no, I do not have a rate base. Or if you have a rate base, go ahead and put in what your distribution, your rate base is for your publication. And then click Save. Just so I don't screw something up with Taste of Homes, I am going just to go ahead, I'll just, one thing when you do your rate base, it's going to ask you, is your rate base, does it include your paid and verified distribution? Does it also include your analyzed non-paid? So mine does. So I'm going to go ahead and say and then save it. This is the average circulation. Now, this is when you would take what is your average distribution for individual subscriptions for your print and digital. Remember, this needs to tie to your issue by issue. So that's when I strongly recommend going to your issue by issue first. Now, if you notice that here's my September, October, I have November and I have December. If you needed to add an additional issue, go ahead and click this plus box, and it'll bring down the boxes so you can fill in to complete that extra issue. The X you can delete. My September, October, if you notice, there's not an assigned calendar date. So I need to select the calendar date for that particular issue. So I select the calendar, and then I'm going to go ahead and say September 1st. Then you just start typing in your numbers. What is your distribution for your paid print, for your digital, and verified distribution? So I'm just going to enter in some numbers here. And then you're going to want to do it for all the other issues. And if you notice down here, it calculates the average. So as I start entering information right now, my average for paid print is 63,000. Well, it should be over 1 million. And once I enter in the rest of my issues, it'll start calculating the average for you. And just bear with me as I enter in some data here just so you can see. So then my average, well, I messed up here on the first one. Instead of 190,000, it should be 1 million. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Helps if I know how to type. There we go. So then as you see, the average changes to 1.9 million. You would the other thing you want to do is, are any of these issues special issues? In my case, no, I do not have a special issue this statement period. Everyone, though, must select an analyzed issue. An analyzed issue has to be within the statement period. This is the issue you're going to take, and you're going to break it down in your geographical analysis by state and by province. I'm going to go ahead and select my November issue, and then click Save. Just to let you know, it's not going to let you move forward if you do not select the analyzed issue. Now I know I have, for my paid print, it should be 1.9 million, my verified distribution, average of 15,000. So now I go back into my average circulation. So for my paid subscriptions, I know I had 1 million. And for me, they were all individual subscriptions. However, you may have club membership, you may have partnerships, you may have sponsorships. So make sure in your paid subscriptions, you're breaking it down by the applicable categories for your publication. Also, here's your verified public place subscriptions. If you have that, then put in what it was for. Was it for governments? Was it hotels? Was it personal care salons? Things of that nature. So remember, before you break out other, you had to make sure you defined, break out some of these other categories. You had to break out at least 5 of the categories before you can use other. Same thing with the individual use subscriptions. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And then we get into the regional demographic information. Again, this is optional. This is for publications that actually have a regional or demographic edition of their publication. Click on the plus icon and then fill in what the edition name is called, how many issues, and the paid subscriptions, your digital subscriptions for that particular issue. Now come into the pricing section. This is when you put in what your single copy price is and what your average price is. So you just type in information. It helps again if you type it in correctly. You can definitely tell this is a live demo. Okay, there we go. And then you can put in what the, your average subscription price is, and then your average price, and then click Save. Now this is the fun part. This is the geographic analysis. So this is when you, in your issue by issue, remember I selected November. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start entering my distribution by state, and you put in your information. Now you can do this manually, or what I recommend is download the template. And when you download the template, it will bring it up in an Excel file. And it puts everything in alphabetical order by state. It takes a moment for it to pop up. But what you'll do is you want to complete this. So make sure you click Enable Editing. Fill this information in, save it, and then you can upload it. So to show you, I already have one I did as a demo. So I'm going to go into Choose File. I'm going to select my file, click Open, and then click Upload. It takes it a moment for it to fill in, so give it a moment. Oops. And then make sure you save your information. It does take a moment just for it to populate. Sorry about this. I'm frozen now. Hold on. apologize about the technical difficulties. It seems that, so I'm relogging back in into the filing tool. Hopefully it uploaded. Okay. Just giving it a moment here to up. Let me try one more time. I'm re-logging in. So even you can see that, you know, sometimes things, we're having issues with the Wi-Fi today. It seems to be going in and out, so I apologize about that. Never fails when I'm doing a live demo. But as we're waiting for this to come up, so on the Geo, you're going to want, yay. So here it is. So this uploaded my Geo for me. So that's one thing with the Geo. One, you can either use, you could just manually enter the information in. If you do, I highly recommend to save and save it often, or you can upload. But remember, if you're going to upload the file, you have to use AAM's template. So just download the template, enable editing, and then choose upload. If you have questions about if you have questions about how to upload the file, just click on the download instructions, and it will give you instructions on how to upload the file. Next section is the new and renewal. This is how many subscriptions that are new or renewed during the statement period. And remember, the total should be the same in A, B, and C. It's the same information, it's just asking it in different ways. So if I had 400,000, so I had 380,000 as 6 month subscriptions, and then I had 20,000 that were more than a year old, or more than a year for subscriptions. So you see I have 400,000 here. There should be a total of 4,000 in the use of premiums and channels. So the use of premiums, was it ordered without premiums? For me, yes, I didn't have any premiums this time. And then what was the channels? Was it mostly through inserts, renewal catalogs, or did you have a fundraiser, things like that? For me, it was just all your standard renewal cards, things of that nature. So yeah, the totals match 400,000, 400,000, 400,000. They need to match for the A, B, and C. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Next is Notes. If you notice on here, this is pulling over from what I previously had, so multi-tier programs. You're going to want to fill this in. You click on the gray box. And the average non-analyzed, non-paid. Remember, this is your miscellaneous sample copies, your advertiser copies, employee copies, things of that nature would go under average, non-analyzed, non-paid. If you do not see this, non-average, non-analyzed, non-paid, what you need to do is go into Add Notes, and then it gives you all the different options that are available. If you scroll down, you will see average, non-analyzed, non-paid. Go ahead and click on it. I'm going to enter in a number, say 4,500, click Save. And now there's my average, non-analyzed, non-paid. So this is your notes section. Used to be called the explanatory section. This is your notes section of your publisher statement. Now we're getting close to the end. Publisher comments. This is, again, these comments aren't printed. They're for internal use only. It's just information to let us know if there's been any changes. So if you had, if you didn't have a rate base, but now you do, I would maybe put that as a comment so the reviewer is not going to call you saying, hey, just double checking to make sure that you still have a rate base type of thing. Upload files. This is if you wanted to have a logo of your publication on your publisher statement, you certainly could do that by just choose File and then select what your logo is. It should be a JPEG or a PNG file. View data. This is the proof of this is all the information that you have entered in so far into the filing tool. This is where you get to proof your information. So here is my information on my average distribution. As you can see, I didn't put in single copy sales, so I probably should go do that. But it gives you an idea of what the information you have entered in so far, and allows you to proof your information. Also, too, just to let you know that even though we have the geos listed here, it shows you it's here. It will not get printed on the actual PDF document. Instead, it's just going to be housed in our Media Intelligence Center. But this allows you can view data as often as you would like before you submit. Here's the print icon. If you select print, what you could do, you can print this information out so you can have it as backup. Or if you go ahead and click change, you can either have it print or save it as a PDF. Few errors. You want to make sure this says no errors found. I have errors because I didn't complete everything. So you just want to make sure that you look at these with the error messages and then go back and fix throughout the filing tool, make your necessary corrections, whether it's in the issue by issue section, if you need to correct the average circulation, or if you need to correct your geo. Once everything is error-free, you're happy with the information you've entered, just put in your name and your title and then check the box. You're going to check the box. That check box is your electronic signature, and then you submit to AAM. So that is a filing tool in a nutshell. I do want to show you that once it's released, we're going to go into Taste of Homes real quick. And I'm going to show you what their information looks like in the Media Intelligence Center. So in the search by bar, I'm going to put in Taste of Homes. I'm just going to go ahead and click on the title of Taste of Homes. They have a brand view profile already set up. So this is overview. And the overview section gives information about them, has the media kit. If you click on the media kit, we'll go directly to their media kit. So this is a great feature so people don't have to go searching for it on their website. The circulation tab, what this does, it is the latest information we have out there for Taste of Home. So this is based on their June publisher statement, but once their December publisher statement is released, this will automatically update. They're also part of the MP360 program, so because of that, they have a tab here for their 360 information that is released and will get updated as this is the MP360 is updated. They have a Learn More tab about their contact information. Reports library, this is where you can actually pull the publisher statement. Now this link up here, you can share that link with anybody, even if they're a non-AAM client. The only thing that the non-AAM client would not receive would be the Reports library tab. But they would have the Overview tab, Circulation tab, the MP360 tab, like that. Also, too, I want to show you where the information is for the geo and all that is housed. As I said, there were certain paragraphs that you will fill out in the filing tool, but you're not going to see them on the actual PDF document. So for Taste of Homes, I'm going to check the box right next to the title, click Analyze Data, go into the Periodical Analyzer, Geographical Analysis, and when you select the geographic information, it's all housed in our database. And so you can export this into Excel. A lot of clients, what they do, they take this and they can do year-over-year comparisons. They can also compare it to other publications as well. So just want to let you know that your geo, even though you're not going to see it on the actual PDF document, it is housed in AAM's database, the Media Intelligence Center. So just real quick before we wrap up here, when you go into AAM's website, if you want information about instructions on filing, we have a great resource. Go into Knowledge Base, and when you click on Knowledge Base, you want to select Magazine Media. go into Filing Center Resources, and then here we have a how-to. The instructions, and the instructions are great. There you go, step by step. They have graphics, so you can see for each section of the filing tool. Also, too, as always, you can go ahead and contact me with any filing questions. I'm more than happy to help out. So thank you so much for joining me today. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we did get through a majority of the filing tool. Hopefully you did get an idea of the filing tool. And actually, it's pretty easy to navigate. It's just making sure that you have the information that you need to know, going section by section, the filing tool. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar, and thank you for joining me today. Thank you.